Good evening, friends. Myself, Vishal belure. I come from Yashwant Mahavidyalaya, Nanded, Maharashtra. I teach economics there. So today I am going to introduce some of the very popular concepts in economics, statistics and econometrics also. That is the concept of regression there. Friends, in economics, we always try to find the relationship between two or more than two variables, like demand for a commodity and its price. You know there is inverse relationship there. Or supply of a commodity and its price. There is direct relationship is there. And even if there is some kind of relationship in unemployment, rate of unemployment and the rate of inflation there. And there is also, we can find a relationship between income of an individual or of our nation and the consumption expenditure of our nation there. So these relationships of the various phenomena or various variables can be objectively or effectively studied with the help of some statistical techniques like correlation, regression, etc. So the regression, the term regression is very widely used in social sciences and in research also there. So let us try to find the meaning of the concept of regression there. In simple language, the regression means we study the cause and effect relationship between two or more than two variables there. In regression, we study the cause and effect relationship. Between two or more than two variables. Of course, the concept of regression differs from the concept of correlation there. In correlation, we study the degree of association between two or more than two variables there. And in regression deals with the cause and effect relationship there. So, there can be a correlation between the income of an American individual and the consumption pattern of an Indian individual there. But in reality, we all know that there is no relation there. But in correlation, we find some correlation there. But if we study these two things with the help of regression there, so we can't find the meaningful or reliable regression in that case there. So this term regression was firstly introduced by a famous statistician, namely Sir Francis Galton. He was the founder or first introducer of the concept of regression. And later on, his best friend, the Carl Pearson, developed more sophisticatedly to this concept. There. So, to understand the concept of regression more clearly, let us have an example, very popular example in economics there, that is the Keynesian consumption function. It is very well known and famous function in economics there. So simply I am going to write this function C equal to alpha plus beta into y plus u. So in mathematical language it is called straight line. Am I right? So it is in econometrics it is called simple linear regression model there. Simple in the sense, this equation includes only two variables, that is C and Y. These are the two variables. That's why we call it simple regression model. When we include more than two variables in this equation, it becomes multiple linear regression model. And linear in the sense, we call it linear model because all the variables, that is C and Y and U, as well as all the constants, that is alpha and beta, have the power 1. All these variables and constants have the power 1. It is invisible. We cannot, we usually not write 1. If any variable has the index 1 or power 1, we not write in mathematics. So, if we have some data on the consumption expenditure as well as income of an economy, we can easily calculate, or in econometric language, estimate the value of beta and alpha by using some formulas there. So these formulas are used in a very famous calculation method, which is known as ordinary least square method or OLS method. So in this method, we choose that values of alpha and beta which minimizes the sum of squared residuals there. First of all, let us try to economize this function because this function is mathematical or somewhat statistical there. So let us try to economize this function. So C here we can denote C as consumption expenditure there. We may also call the variable C as dependent variable there. So here C is also called dependent variable there. Why? Because here the C depends on all these things there. So whenever usually whenever a variable comes on the left hand side of an equation, it is called dependent variable. So we can write it, we can say it dependent variable also. Then the meaning of Y. Y means simply income. It may be income of an individual or consumer, or it may be income of an economy, that is GDP, gross national product, or national income there. So this variable Y is also called independent variable there. So here C is depend on Y, not Y is depend on C, because it is called, because of that it is called independent variable there. So here we have a constant, that is beta. So here beta, since this is consumption expenditure and this is income, so here beta have a special meaning there, that is marginal propensity to consume. Or simply MPC there. So MPC is nothing but a ratio of change in consumption expenditure and change in income. It is called beta. So if you have some knowledge of differentiation or derivative, so if we can calculate the derivative of C with respect to Y, we get the value of beta there. So beta is nothing but the ratio of change in, it is D or the delta, denotes the change in consumption expenditure due to the change in income. We all know that if our income changes, our consumption expenditure also changes there. Here alpha is equal to autonomous consumption, a consumption which not depends on income there. So in our school age, college age, we have no income. We used to have no income there. But still, we have some consumption expenditure there because of our father's earning and so. So, this value, whenever Y becomes 0, U becomes 0, the value C, that is consumption expenditure purchases, equal to the alpha there. In mathematical language, it is called intercept there.
Dr. Tapan Kumar